Okay, final impact before Hard Justice, which takes place this Sunday, August the 10th. Good show this week. They rebounded after last week's impact was not that great, admittedly. I thought they did a pretty good job with the final hype for Hard Justice, and I'm just going to cover the major points of the show because there's some other stuff that I want to talk about with the two pay-per-views coming up pretty soon. So I'm gonna get to that in a minute. First of all, something that I didn't get a chance to talk about last week, TNA has started splicing footage of the upcoming video game into the Impact intro and the wrestlers' entrance videos, and I think that's a really creative way to promote the video game. The graphics look insane on that thing, too. It's got me excited for it. Anyway, for matches this week, to start off the show, we had a nice, short, hardcore match with Roxy and Jackie. It seems like Roxy is changing her look every week now, and she's got new music now, which I liked. So now the last remnant of the Voodoo Queen gimmick is the Voodoo Drop finisher. I don't know why they don't just call that thing the Barbie Crusher and be done with it now, but whatever. Tracy Brooks was the referee, which apparently is the start of this new angle where Tracy is trying to impose some kind of order in the Knockouts division. I like that. That could be an interesting storyline. I don't know where they're going with it, but I assume there's going to be more to it than just Tracy acting like a referee sometimes. So we'll see where that one goes. Next, we had a great match, a tag team match with Motor City Machine Guns versus Jay Lethal and Consequences Creed. Creed's starting to get some momentum behind him now. The crowd's getting behind him, and the Machine Guns kind of teased a heel turn after the match. At least that's what I hope it was, and not just Alex Shelley turning heel, leading to them, breaking up, which would just be the stupidest thing you could do with the two of them. But turning both of them heel and getting them into the tag title feud, that's what I want to see. So cross your fingers there. We had Awesome Kong squashing Salinas, and then the heels cutting a very good promo to set up a 6-woman tag match for the pay-per-view. That should be great, and I think that the heels absolutely need to go over in that match. They've been jobbing a lot lately, and the beautiful people especially need to be built back up. Plus, there's a real lack of credible heels in the Knockouts division right now. I've actually got another video in the works where I'll talk about that more in depth. Anyway, if I were booking this match, I'd have Angelina get the pin for the heels. I wish this were an 8-woman tag so Saeed and Roxy could be in there too, but Saeed just hurt her leg in a training accident, so that's off the table, unfortunately. We also had a nice 8-man tag match with the heels breaking out the glass table again and putting Homicide through it. I would definitely caution TNA about overdoing that glass table spot. I mean, it's a sick-looking spot, but this is the second time they've done it in the last couple weeks. I mean, once in a while is fine, but it's the same deal as the ladder match. You do them so often, and they start to mean less and less. So TNA needs to be careful with that one. And finally, we had a weapons gauntlet match at the end of the show. The gimmick was unnecessary here, but the work was good. Let's hope Kurt Angle's okay. I mean, he got busted open real hard from that ladder. I mean, there was a lot of blood there. It was nasty looking. Nice to see Matt Morgan in the main event, but I don't know what the hell VKM were doing in there. I mean, you take them out of there, you got a much better match. I mean, thankfully they did basically nothing, so I don't know what the hell they were doing in there in the first place. I guess Kip James needed a paycheck or something. Whatever. Joe got the pin, so he looks strong going into Hard Justice. And they teased the Sting thing again at the end there. And they actually had him show up this time, which is a big improvement over just having baseball bats magically appear and everyone just assuming that it's Sting with no proof. So that was a big step up from last week. In fact, this whole show was a big step up from last week. There was sort of a running hardcore theme throughout the whole night, which sets the stage for an interesting show this Sunday. And now that Impact is out of the way, there's something else that I want to talk about that's pretty important. Coming up, we have two big pay-per-views, Hard Justice and SummerSlam. And as is often the case, there's probably some people out there wondering, which pay-per-view should I order? Which pay-per-view should I order? Well, to me, it's a pretty simple choice. But for those of you who are undecided right now, I'll try to clear things up for you. Okay? First of all, for Hard Justice, we have Kurt Angle and AJ Styles in a last man standing match. That speaks for itself. We've got Petey Williams versus Consequences Creed. That's a great matchup. Creed's really starting to catch on with the audience now. We've got LAX and Beer Money. Probably see Beer Money win the tag team titles finally. We've got Jay Lethal versus Sanjay Dutt in a black tie brawl and chain match thing. The stipulation on that one is stupid, but these guys are both awesome. They match up great together. Plus, the show's in Jay Lethal's hometown, so you know he's going to bust his ass to put on a great show. You've got Christian and Rhino versus Team 3D in a street fight. That'll be great. You've got the 6-woman tag match. The knockouts have delivered on every pay-per-view this year so far, and this will be no different. Then in the main event, you've got Samoa Joe versus Booker T in the 6 Sides of Steel. On paper, that is a great show. Now, let's look at SummerSlam. You've got Triple H versus the Great Khali. There's a 4-star classic in the making right there. You've got CM Punk versus Bradshaw and those 2 giant man boobs of his again. Wow, you've got Matt Hardy versus Mark Henry. Poor Matt Hardy. You've got Santino Marella getting an IC title shot when he's won like one match in God knows how long. Please explain that to me. Shows you how much the IC title's worth these days. You've got John Cena and Batista, and for all their posturing about how this is supposedly the biggest match in SummerSlam history, you know it's not. And even they know it's not because they're sure as hell not treating it like it is. It's not even the main event of the show, and everyone already knows it's only going to be so good of a match because it's John Cena and Batista. You've got Jeff Hardy versus MVP. That one might be alright. And then in the main event, you've got Edge and Taker in Hell in a Cell, which has awesome build-up and could be a good match, but we all pretty much know how it's going to end, I think. So, for one of WWE's Big 4 pay-per-views of the year, arguably their second biggest pay-per-view of the year, out of that whole card, they're giving you 1, maybe 2 matches that might deliver something. Wow. Great Khali, Bradshaw, Mark Henry, Samoa Joe, Kurt Angle, AJ Styles, Petey Williams. Enjoy Hard Justice, you guys. Talk to you next week.